What up? What up? What up? Back again, back again. For a new video, I want to pull this up real quick because I got a lot of DMs. I asked a lot of people just questions that they would want to know. If they wanted to learn anything from me, what would it be? And one of the questions that I got related to this. So basically, the question was like, how do you obtain your level of unfuckwittable ability? And in further details, like, you're so happy, carefree, one with yourself, the universe, and the world around you. I feel your energy through the screen. How do you do it? So I wanted to explain that. Basically, in a nutshell, that means, how did I learn how to love myself? How did I learn how to unleash all of me into the world without fear? And I still deal with fear in a lot of different ways because I'm human. I still deal with that. But the thing that makes me Teflon is that I'm okay with my fear. Like, I don't judge myself about my fear. A lot of times when we're human, we judge ourselves about being afraid, and that keeps us from overcoming the fear. It seems counterintuitive, but the thing that helps you overcome fear is being okay with being afraid in the first place, and understanding and accepting yourself as a human being. So it's been a long time coming because, listen, I haven't always been this way. When I was a kid, I got bullied a lot. I was misunderstood a lot. My childhood was hellified in a lot of ways. Because I didn't understand a lot of things that I know now. I didn't understand myself. And I felt like I asked a lot of questions like, why am I me? Why can't I be like everybody else? Why can't I fit in? And now I understand that my gift is not fitting in. Like, that's my total gift. The fact that I don't fit in fucking anywhere. Like, I understand it now, but for so long, for so much time of my life, I didn't get that. And I want to explain to you how I got to the place of being able to accept all of me and understand who I am. Because, so when you're a child, and every child when they're born, they have no fear. Fear is taught. Fear is learned. When we come into this world, we are pure love. We're the pure essence of love and fearlessness. And we're usually that way up until the point where we can start to understand our senses: touch, feel, sound, being able to speak, being able to walk. And it's usually not up until the point until we express ourselves in our love in the only way that we understand our own language, the way that we know how. When we express that and it gets rejected for the first time, that's when we learn fear. That's when our first level of fear is learned. So let's say your way of expressing yourself, you might want to, go around, you might, like most kids, you run around naked, or do something that your parents might not agree with. And they tell you, no, you can't do that. And it's like, wait a minute, but this is what I thought was right for me. And so it happens. And then so this first layer comes up. That's the first wall. And then that keeps building as you get older. You move into, toddlerhood. Then you move into being a young child, and you move into being a teenager. And it keeps going. As you get older, you keep going to these different levels. And as you try to express who you are, somebody doesn't receive it. And then you learn internally, oh, this isn't safe. This isn't safe for me to do because I feel pain. And so because I'm feeling this pain, then I'm going to create this pattern in my brain that whenever I do this is going to cause me pain. So I can't do that anymore. But then that ends up creating a prison, because our mission and our goal as human beings is to express ourselves fully and completely. And that's why, a lot of people are, we're miserable, in the world, because we feel that we can't do that. We can absolutely do that, but we have to be willing to let those other people off the hook of accepting us in order for us to be able to do that. Because when you put everybody else on the hook, you got to keep all these people happy, which leads to the suffering and the unhappiness. It's impossible. The only person that you know inside and out is yourself. And when you can come back to you and understand that you are you, and you are the only person that can know you through and through, you can stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and just put yourself out there, because that is the exhalation. That is the, that we're all looking for. But we have to put ourselves out there in order to get that. So, really, when I was around, because honestly, I didn't really learn how to love myself until I was probably like 23. I'm like 30. I'm 30 now. So when I was around maybe my junior year of college, I really started to embrace my individuality. And I really started to embrace who I was, and really started to understand that who I was okay. Because usually when you're in school, there's all this pressure to fit in. There's all this pressure to be like everybody else, to be what's accepted, because you're trying to avoid pain. But it was around the age of around 22 or 23 when I really started to understand that it was okay for me to be me. And it happened because I stopped looking to try to understand myself through people who were not me. And we don't understand that that's what's causing our pain, whether it's our parents, whether it's the government, whether it's a different race, whether it's our own race, whether it's our religion, whatever you want to name, doesn't matter. When you try to understand the complexity of who you are through someone else that can only see the surface level of who you are, you inevitably put yourself in a bout of misery, because they can't understand you. But most of the time, we don't understand ourselves. We want ourselves to be different because we don't want to face ridicule. So why do I have to be this way? Why do I have to be gay? Why did I end up this particular way? Why did I end up that particular? Why didn't I learn how to fight? Or why didn't I learn this? Because my life would be so much easier. But that's not really the case. It's just you are who you are. And that's beautiful. But if you're trying to understand who you are through someone who's not who you are, in this country and just in this world, I believe in general, we come up to look outside of ourselves, everywhere outside of ourselves, whether it be, our parents, our religion, whatever social construct. We're taught to look immediately, as soon as we can learn how to think and speak and see and make calculations, we are supposed to look elsewhere, because who the fuck are we to know who we are? But that's insanity, right? Like, the fact that you're taught to look elsewhere outside of yourself to know your internal nature is insanity. So when you come back to that, and when you start to understand your inner workings, your inner mechanisms, and then you're like, wait a minute, I understand all of this. You don't really care about what everybody else thinks. And our human nature is to be expressive, and it is to really express who we are to the utmost ability. And see, that's the key to freedom. We think freedom lies in somebody else making a way for us, somebody else accepting us. Freedom is about you accepting you. Because when you can accept you, you don't give a fuck about what nobody else thinks. And like, I get it. It's like, how can I accept these parts of myself that are causing me pain? How can I accept these parts of myself that I feel like if they were different, I wouldn't be dealing with this shit now? But see, it's like, you really have to understand that everything that we do as humans is in a search for pleasure and in a search for love. Even if it's in a fucked up way. All of the fucked up shit things that we do as human beings, at the root of it all, we're looking for acceptance, we're looking for love, and we're looking for pleasure. All of these things that we have not learned to pull from within ourselves. And when you can see that, how can you really fault yourself for searching for your nature? Our nature is love. Our nature is acceptance. That's who we are. So when you can accept the fact that you didn't understand that the place that you were searching was not where you could find it, you can begin to love yourself, because you always are trying to find a way to feel good about yourself. That's what we all do. Everything that we do is with the mission to feel good about who we are as an individual. So when you can let that shame go that exists around the parts of you that you're like, well, if I hadn't did this, I wouldn't be dealing with this pain today. I guarantee you, at the root of that thing that you're shaming yourself about, you were trying to find pleasure. You were trying to find love. And you didn't understand at the time that it lived within you. But again, I go back to, how can you fault yourself for trying to find your nature? You know? So when you get to a place where you can let that shame go, you can begin to accept the parts of yourself that you once hated, that you once thought stood in the way of you getting all the things you could have had a long time ago. But all of us are unique. All of us have a very unique blueprint. There's nobody on this earth like me. There's nobody on this earth like you, living in this time and space that we're in right now. And when you can learn to accept that, you can understand your magic, because we're all the same. We all deal with the same doubts. We all deal with the same struggles. No matter if it's Beyonce or me, we all deal with the same shit as human beings. But at the same time, we're all individually unique. There's nobody else on this earth that has the exact makeup of your soul on this earth. And when you can learn to explore those parts of your soul and understand your uniqueness and understand that it's not up to somebody else to accept who you are, you can be free. And that's what it helps me be free, because I know deep down that that's what we all want. We all want to be free. We all want to be loved for who we are. We all want to be accepted for who we are. We all want to express everything about who we are. But if we're relying on somebody else to give us the green light before we can do that, we can't be free. If your freedom relies on somebody else to give it to you, you will never have it. You will never have it. Your freedom relies on you. And when you're okay with you, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because you're okay with you. And so that's what I have to say about that. But again, it's a process. It's a process of pulling out those things that you once judged so much about yourself, and understand how that they are your tools and how they make you unique. Understand that you're beautiful through and through. Nobody else has to love you but you, because when you love you, you can go out into the world free and love everybody else without attachment, because you don't need anything from them. You can go to them and explore them and enjoy them for who they are without putting them on the line, for it basically to be indebted to you for something, because that's when the love disappears. When it becomes this ball and chain type thing of, I owe you this, or you owe me that. The only people we owe something to is ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to express ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to love ourselves. And when we can become these walking, self-sovereign entities in the world, we'll have world peace overnight. Because nobody's looking to somebody else to make me feel like I'm worthy, to make me feel like I'm whole, to make me feel like I'm somebody. I'm on the job. I'm on the motherfucking job. And I don't need you to be on the job. So I can let you be who you are. I can let you be on the job for yourself. I don't have to take you away 50% because I need an extra 25%. I'm on the job full time. So I can let you go and be free to be on your job all the time, and we can just enjoy each other as we are. But that's my answer on that. I might go into it in further detail later, but that's my answer on that. That's how I learned how to love myself. Peace.